AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where the football eyes across the world will be upon it today. Kansas City, the reigning 7-time AFC title game appearances are on the line. Their playoff hopes on the line here in Week 13. It's a Thanksgiving tradition unlike any other. It's the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Dallas is the center of attention today.
Happy Thanksgiving, Dallas, Texas. Watch this.
Gobbled up again, Brady James. And he comes up doing a little turkey gobble wobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Good dog. Time to eat some turkey.
Great traditional holiday like Thanksgiving and football like we have today with two top teams in the NFC.
Yeah, just start pulling the turkey legs off. Pull them off. They just grab them off and give them to the guys. Start getting them turkey legs.
Let's be thankful giving these the ass whoop.
There's the turkey leg, yeah. Is that the mama turkey?
Happy Thanksgiving, my man.
Let's go!
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to all the wonderful folks out there, man. We got a lot to be thankful for, man. I'm thankful for y'all, boys. Oh, God, let's ball out, man.
Happy Thanksgiving!
On behalf of the Dallas Cowboys, I would like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving Day.
For everyone outside of AT&T Stadium, it's a chance to possibly set new ratings records. For those inside AT&T Stadium, you only have a little bit of time to get your front row seat to check out Patrick Mahomes for the first time as a starter against his beloved Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott and company looking to take charge as they continue their momentum following the trade deadline after a come-from-behind win over last year's Super Bowl champions. Now they have an opportunity to knock off the reigning AFC champions here on this Thanksgiving holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome into Cowboys Pregame Live, presented by WinStar World Casino and Resort. We are here from the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll soon be joined by Nick Eatman and Nicole Hutchison as well. Gentlemen, this one feels a little different. Now, the Cowboys are back at 500, 5-5-1, and they're starting to move in the right direction here, and it really certainly feels like they're building that momentum. And the momentum started in Week 12 with the come-from-behind victory. We were all up there. We were in the press box at AT&T Stadium looking at the Cowboys' 21-point deficit. They erased that to come back to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21, where Kansas City had a come-from-behind victory of their own. 23-20, they take down the Indianapolis Colts. 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter in overtime to get the job done at Arrowhead Stadium. How does the come-from-behind victory carry over now in a short week for both teams going into this holiday showdown?
Well, we all understand in the National Football League, each game is different. And just because you win a game the previous week doesn't mean you're going to go out there and win it the following week. But what does carry over, in my opinion, is the confidence. And this team, and this Dallas Cowboys team, they should have the confidence knowing that whether you're down 3 points or down 21 points, you always have a chance to win ball games. One, because that defense is playing better, and secondly, that offense can put up points no matter who's the opponent.
I don't disagree with you, Barry. I think I'm right there with you. The confidence aspect has to carry over, and I think that's the one factor that will carry over for the Dallas Cowboys. You think about what happened in that game. In that game, you had your new additions in Quentin Williams, Logan Wilson, DeMarvion Overshown. You had those guys show up and make a tremendous impact on the game. What else happened in that game? Matt Eberflus's system started working in the second half. Your offensive playmaker started showing up and started making big plays for you. So that is the confidence that you build off of. This is a new reinvigorated team since they have made some new acquisitions right before the trade deadline. You can't look at this like the team that was in the past. This is a new loaded up Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, I agree with both of you guys wholeheartedly, man. When you have a victory like that, where you are up against a division opponent that is said to be better than you, you come back and you keep chipping away, especially when the first half was so bad. Then in the second half, you start chipping away. Your big-time players start making plays. Your role players making sure they do their jobs. When you start building that type of momentum with your quarterback, Dak, telling everybody to believe to a certain point where they say, it's better than believing, baby. We finna do this, and they come out victorious.
And, of course, it was against the Philadelphia Eagles, which I know you loved a little more, especially in that matchup, too, right?
Definitely, man. A lot of the time when you're going to knock somebody out, you better be careful that you knock them all the way out. Because I tell you what, see these kids, they done lost their ever-loving mind. It's the Philadelphia school. What are they doing, man? Be careful when you're trying to handle the Cowboys. You better knock us out with a Mike Tyson. Dude, we're going to come out with a Holyfield and just keep going at you. Yeah, bite your ear off all day. Yeah.
We are 7 minutes into the show, and we've already got boxing.
There we go.
Flying here in Cowboys pregame live. Of course, the NFC East standings still have Philadelphia on top. Yeah. But with that win last week, it keeps the hopes alive for Dallas. Philadelphia has won some really close games throughout the season. They have almost dropped multiple different games throughout the stretch, but their DNA might be changing a little bit. It looks like the Cowboys' DNA is changing a little bit. Isaiah, when it comes to the Cowboys finding this rhythm, you talked about how it feels like a different team. How do you continue that momentum moving forward?
It's just executing.
Yeah.
You have to believe in what the coordinators are calling, and you have to be able to execute the assignments that you have set forth before you. Then it comes down to matchups. So the confidence factor that Barry was talking about, the personnel that I was talking about, the new additions, and now believing in the concepts that are being called, because that's what you do as a player. You run what is called, and you trust in your coordinators. Now it's all about your matchups, right? How do I match up against this team? That's why you can't look and say, hey, well, this team lost to this team. That means that we're going to that's not how it works in this league. My matchup, can I win that matchup? Does my system work well against their system? Do I have to make changes within my system to be able to account and be able to customize it to be able to take advantage of what they do well or what they don't do well? That is what is going to change on a week-to-week basis. Dallas got the big win last week against the Eagles. Now this is an entirely different matchup against a entirely different team that's built completely different, that has a confidence level that from years past with Andy Reid. So you got to be able to lock in.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the DNA has changed for the Dallas Cowboys, especially on the defensive side of the football. I mean, going into this matchup, everybody pretty much said the Dallas Cowboys, they don't need to be a top 10 defense, top 5 defense. You just got to be in the middle of the road because you have that high-powered of an offense. So what we've seen these past couple weeks, especially with the additions of the Quinnen Williams, of the Logan Wilson, and getting guys back healthy onto this team, you've seen this defense force offenses to do it the hard way, going 80 yards instead of having these big-time explosive plays, which hurt the Dallas Cowboys defense early in the season. Those explosive plays, getting easy points for offenses, kind of demoralize this defense. But now, as you see these past couple weeks, Vegas, and then last week against who they played? Philadelphia. Yeah. You see that they make these guys go 80 yards, and it's very hard for a team to do that down in and down out, or series in and series out. So I believe the DNA has changed, especially on the defensive side of the football. And if they're able to stay in that middle of the road, the Dallas Cowboys can be very dangerous going into the playoffs.
I see how you quickly moved on to Kansas City.
Yeah, you forgot about that.
I mean, he act like he getting ready to play this game. It is when you have better players, you can dial up better plays, and you can ask a lot from, like Eberflus. He seemed like 3 weeks ago he couldn't dial up nothing right. The last 2 weeks, everything he's called has been right. They shot out Philadelphia in the second half. A great offensive unit. They have not been great as they've normally been, but these guys have 2 good wide receivers, good running back, solid quarterback, good offensive line, and the Cowboys stood up to them. Change your mindset, and it changed a whole lot of things.
How quickly do they have? Or let me rephrase here. How long do they have until you start changing the minds of the NFL, changing the minds of fans out there? Because right now I feel like the belief is inside the building. There's a little bit of excitement, I think, within diehard Cowboys fans. But at what point, what win along the way says this team's different and everybody else begins to take
notice? Today, because you beat a team in Oakland that the Raiders that you're supposed to beat. Now, all of a sudden you come back on a team that you thought you would lose to in the Eagles. Now you got a team just as desperate as you, but not only are the Kansas City Chiefs desperate, they know how to get there. Yeah. So if you can beat a team like this, an Andy Reid team led by Mahomes, who's coming back to the crib, if you can beat these guys, and don't forget Chris Jones, You done closed it down, bro.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you talk about a team who has that championship pedigree. They understand, they have that winning culture. As you saw last week, down 20-9, they were able to bounce back and get that W against a Colts team who was on fire. But to me, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, the confidence is already in that locker room. They already understand, like, look, we have a high-powered offense. Our defense is coming along. We have what it takes to make a run here. They shouldn't have to worry about any of that outside noise. Don't worry about convincing us. Don't worry about convincing the national media, all that other stuff. Focus on what you have to do. Focus on the task at hand, and that's this afternoon against the Kansas City Chiefs.
First of all, it's not your job to try to prove the rest of the league that they should believe in you. That's number one, right? You worry about what's inside your building. But if you do need to convince others outside of the building that you are a really good team, you might want to do so by beating the Super Bowl champs. Did they do that?
They did.
They did that. Okay. All right. So, and if that's not enough, then how about you beat the team that the Super Bowl champs beat in the Super Bowl? That'll be today. So Nate Dogg said that today will be the day. That is absolutely correct. You went ahead and you zeroed the Philadelphia Eagles in the second half. You came back, won that ball game against a really good team. We can say that is pretty much the same team as last year. They lost a couple pieces, but they replaced them. Now you're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Are they what they've been in the past? Are as dominant? Nah, they haven't been. But last year, you got to remember, the majority of their games, they won by one possession, and they still found their way all the way to the Super Bowl. So if you go out and you beat that team with that coach, with that amount of confidence, now all of a sudden everybody has to put some respect on your name because you beat the defending champs in the NFC and the Super Bowl champs, and you're going to go ahead and beat the AFC champs. If they don't believe you then so what?
They look to become the first team in back-to-back weeks to defeat the reigning Super Bowl representatives. Back-to-back weeks for the first time since 2016. They would be the first team to ever do it in NFL history in a short week, which would be the short turnaround from Sunday to Thursday. Of course, Brian Schottenheimer says they have to expect to win every game. That's the mentality of this team moving forward.
I love where we are from a defensive standpoint over the last couple of weeks. I think that's been huge for us. I think when you just see the way we've played really the last, I'll say 6 of the last 8 quarters, because the first half wasn't our best half of football. But more than anything, I think it's the confidence that the team has. And again, played really well against the Raiders really for most of the game, and the ability to bounce back. I think that confidence is more important for me than, the main objective is to win. We expect to win, but there's a lot that we can draw from that game with how we won and how we ended up finding a way to make the plays, and we had to make the plays and get the stops when we had to get the stops. And, we know we have put ourselves in a position where you got to keep stacking wins. And this week will be no different, very difficult against a very good team in Kansas City.
AT&T Stadium with its doors open again for another Thanksgiving matchup, this time as the Kansas City Chiefs come to town. You just heard about the confidence level from Brian Schottenheimer and company. Let's ask Nick Eatman down on the sidelines in Arlington about that confidence level. Happy Thanksgiving, Nick, to you and yours, as really the Cowboys look to continue this momentum they've had over the last 2 weeks. What is the belief like inside the Star and inside that building right now?
For me, Kyle, the belief starts with what they were building in training camp. It's not just about what happened 4 days ago, because, if that's the case, that'll get you beat. What you have to do is you have to kind of lean on the building blocks of what Schottenheimer and these coaches have been doing all year long. And so obviously one of the bigger ones with Quinnen Williams in here and Overshown and Logan Wilson and this defense has changed things a little bit. I think there's a belief, but they can't just lean on the fact that they won, they were down 21-0, they came back and beat one of the best teams in the NFL. It's going to have to be, hey, this is the things, we're doing things the right way. Can't get down by 21, because I promise you Patrick Mahomes is not going to let you back in it.
I like the way you put that. You can't allow spotting one of the better teams in the NFL 21 points every single week if you hope to be successful. Cowboys are going to have to do it without their left tackle, though. Tyler Guyton out today with the high ankle sprain. And what's his status moving forward for Guyton? Because as you look at him in year number 2, he's still trying to grow into that position. What's the level of concern for you?
Well, for me, it's a little hard to understand exactly what they're doing at left tackle, just from a simple standpoint of, I'm not 100% sure they're not better off with Nate Thomas. I don't know that. He plays well there, better than he does on the right side. But with the high ankle sprain, I mean, that's one injury where We've seen Jason Witten come back on a Thanksgiving Day game with a high ankle sprain. We've seen Terrence Steele in training camp maybe miss a week or so. We've seen guys go to IR and miss 6 to 8 weeks. So it's hard to tell just on the level of that high ankle sprain and what's going to happen with Guyton. But I do know this, that they like what Nate Thomas is doing, and he continues to get those reps. He needs reps. It's the best way to get better at football is to play football, and that's what Nate Thomas is getting a chance to do.
No doubt about that, and we'll talk more in depth about Guyton and his injury and how that affects the team later on in the show. But, Nick, before we let you go, since it is Thanksgiving, anybody that you would like to give a shout-out to that might be watching from home?
Well, definitely. I got a chance to spend some time with my extended family over in the Abilene area, West Texas, and I want about 97% of them to have a great day. A lot of them are going to be excited watching the Cowboys game. But, it is that West Texas area, a lot of Texas Tech fans there, a lot of Mahomes fans. So I actually took a picture with a couple of young Chiefs fans. They're excited about that. So I don't want them to have the best day, but everyone else I hope has a great time.
I love that. A little house divided on Thanksgiving. I'm sure you're not the only Texas household that is dealing with that today. Nick Eatman, thanks so much. We'll check in with you again later on. Of course, the Cowboys trying to get a streak started. Dak Prescott knows everything in front of them is still in front of them, but they cannot afford to slip up, even if it is against the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's what he said about that mentality earlier this week.
Yeah, we got to win every game at this point. And the Philly game doesn't mean anything right now. Nothing that's happened up to this point really means anything other than it's put us in the position to be must-win games. And so, as I said, we're not going to necessarily just go out there and do that on Thursday. That's through the week. And just the way that we prepare, the way that we're communicating, the way that we're taking the necessary steps to get our bodies right and to go out and to play our best game on a short week. We've got the guys, we've got the plan, we've got the process intact, and we're going to give it our best and feel very confident in us.
Of course, Dak coming off of a career day the last time out where he became the most career passing yard leader in Cowboys franchise history, passing Tony Romo that he had traveled with or trailed for quite some time and who he took over for back in 2016 as well. So Dak now the all-time leading passer in Cowboys franchise history. All three of you guys have spent a significant portion of time either around Dak or even playing with Dak at different times throughout your career, in your case, Barry. But how much has he evolved as he's gone on? I'll start with you, Isaiah, just as our resident quarterback, from his rookie year in 2016 to where he is now.
I think just confidence. I mean, obviously, the different aspects of his game have improved. I don't think anybody's ever questioned his leadership capabilities. That's been consistent from day one, to my understanding. But from the analyst side of things, I've seen him make better decisions. There used to be a point in time where Dak used to force everything. There was a point in time where you didn't know if he necessarily saw coverages and understood coverages as well. But now he's evolved into this quarterback that seemingly can face anything that's thrown his direction. He makes the right decisions. He puts his team in the right position. He's okay taking a small play. And he can still push the ball down the field. All they've done is continue to surround him with more resources, and he continues to get better and better.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when you look at a guy like Dak Prescott, he's always been a great leader. I mean, since his rookie season, surrounded by vets, he was the guy that kind of stuck out above all. So he's always been that great leader. And you're 100% right when you talk about the decision making. But from what I've seen, he's taking that step forward. He's become what these guys like to call the force multiplier, basically making everybody around him that much better. When you look at guys like George Pickens, who's uberly talented from Pittsburgh, he had a couple up and down years. He's come here and look, he's exploded. Flournoy, a wide receiver that, 5th or 6th on the depth chart, able to build his way up, come onto the football field. He's making plays out there. He builds everyone around them up. And that's what I've seen that step he's been able to take is become that guy that not only a leadership role, but a guy that just makes players on the football field that much better.
What I like about the kid is when he came and he had all that enthusiasm. He had the leadership, but he had that enthusiasm. And he was just running the offense. If they asked him to do it, he would do it. Now he can change the offense. He runs the offense. He keeps them in the right play. Like you say, Isaiah, he can read the coverages. He understands now when he has a zone who's the open guy in the zone. That used to give him trouble. As he go more and more, he's getting better and better. That is the guy that is evolving into the guy that we see today.
And I love each of the points that you bring up because you're talking about decision-making, you're talking about making guys better around him, and you're talking about just the growth as a human being, too, and what he's kind of brought to the table through some adversity on and off the field. He continues to make those around him better. Now, One of the guys you brought up was George Pickens, and my goodness, what a year he has had. This is what he did against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. 9 targets, 9 receptions, 146 yards, and a touchdown. He's just the 4th Cowboys player since 1978 to have that many receptions and that much yardage on a perfect day where he catches every single one of his targets. Let's go hear from Dak again about what has impressed him on the receiver side of things with George Pickens the most.
Yeah, if he's a one-on-one, he's not covered. Not in my mind anyways. Yeah, I mean, I think with the proper ball, as you're saying, and any DB out there, just his size, his ability to go up and make a play, and that's not for him, it's just him, it's for CD as well. You get a guy one-on-one with those guys, I have so much confidence in our guys going to make the play. As I said before, it's not even a 50-50 ball. The favor lies in our hands, and so I just got to give them opportunity, and I tell them, when we break the huddle or just throughout this game plan, these process, like, we just got to run. You run hard, and you show and you make it obvious to me that it's one-on-one downfield, you're going to get the opportunity.
I love the way he started that interview. He says if he's covered one-on-one, he's really not covered. And we saw that against Philadelphia. There were opportunities early in the game. He took advantage of them, and then he got bigger and better as time went on as well in the second half. I'll ask the same question that Dak was asked there. What has impressed you the most about what George Pickens has brought to this offense this year, Nate?
I tell you what. Isaiah said when we first started here weeks ago that he had 2 or 3 routes. I think that route tree is great.
Yeah, buddy.
He's a ball player, and it's not often that you can say, hey, a guy single-handedly started the rally back. I think he scored right before the half to get this rally going last week against Philadelphia. So, hey, kudos to this young man, and find a way, Mr. Jones.
Well, without a doubt, we all kind of understood what, George Pickens brings to the table. He's, freak athlete, be able to get those 50-50 catches. But what I didn't realize about his game was how good he is after he has the ball in his hands. Like, when you give this guy space, his yak or yards after the catch, it's amazing. For him to be able to be, 6'4", 200 and some pounds, and be able to cut and move dynamically as he has these past couple games, it's really astounding. Because when you look at him, you think, oh, he's just a straight line guy, jump ball guy. That's what he is. But when he has that ball in his hands, he's kind of like a punt returner out there. And that really shocked me about his game watching George Pickens this year.
Yeah, Barry's in my mind right now because that's the exact same thing that I was thinking in terms of his ability to have yards after the catch. But one other aspect of his game that I really like and I admire about him, a receiver of his caliber, is his willingness to block. It's not something that I expected out of him. It's not something that I even saw from him earlier in the season, but it's something that he has literally really owned and really taken upon his shoulders to understand that in order for him to be dynamic, in order for him to get the opportunities in the play-action game, he has to be willing to go put his hat in there and get a little bit dirty, a little bit grimy to block it up for everybody in the running game. So that's one aspect that I really would like to tip my hat off to him because it's opening it up for him to be able to make plays as well.
Going back to one of the points Barry made just a couple moments ago, you talked about how he, as a receiver, had always been a straight line guy, big-bodied catcher who, of course, is going to go up and get the contested ball. But he's added to his game and to his route tree as time has gone on. How does that challenge a secondary player? Because I know you wouldn't want to cover him right now. Nobody wants to cover George Pickens right now. But why does that challenge the defense so much?
It makes it harder because when you got a guy that's either a deep threat, a straight line guy, or does nothing but deep passes, you can sit back. You don't got to worry about him coming in and out of breaks, and you can run with him down the football field. But when you have the full tree, like George Pickens has been able to kind of adapt to his game, the slants, the shallows, the digs, the deep posts, the fly routes down the field, you got to cover everything. And it makes the guessing game that much harder as a defensive back. So when you got all those routes together, kind of like a CD Lamb has out there as well, it gets tough to cover guys like that.
And how does it help a quarterback from that standpoint?
It helps him, well, first of all, his routes, right? How he's running his routes really help you as a quarterback because his speed is deceptive. His route running is very deceptive. He's such a lanky player that when he's running, right, so like that, what causes problems for guys like Barry in the secondary is he's gaining on you. He's running routes. He's running these long steps. He's gaining 3.5 to 4 yards per step, and it's hard to really pick up exactly how fast he's going. And then he puts his foot in the ground and changes directions. That communication to the quarterback, along with that speed, that closing speed, causes a lot of problems.
Have you seen that the last 2 weeks? The way he scored that touchdown against Las Vegas, where he put his foot in the ground and got around his defender. Oh, yeah.
Nasty.
That was where CD was just waving in the background, watching his bud find his way into the end zone. Speaking of CD, there have been some drops, and most of the drops have happened against Philadelphia this season. 7 drops against the Eagles, 4 in week 1 that were crucial and part of the reason why Dallas lost in that matchup. but also 3 this past week against Philadelphia. Let's hear from CeeDee Lamb about his response after having another game filled with those drops.
It's really just lack of focus on my end, honestly, just thinking of doing 2 before 1, and there's been plenty of that going on. And by that, I mean I'm thinking about my next move before catching the ball and things of that nature. There's not really much on anybody else but myself, and I've never been the type to really point the finger. But, yeah, it's all on me, and I got to handle that. Disappointed in myself for the most part, obviously, because they've called my number more, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. Once I see the ball come my way, it's in nobody's harm but mine to catch the ball, you know. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I know me, and I know the player I am. And, yeah, I'll be all right.
I like the way he finished there, too. He said, I'll be all right. Nate, when it comes to CeeDee and the drops, he addressed a little bit of it there. But is this a bigger problem moving forward for a guy like Lamb who's supposed to be an elite-level wide receiver?
The thing about this, man, you have 17 tries at this. Now this is what his 12th or 13th try at it. So he's a great player. It's all about his mental state of mind and what he's doing. Like you say, he put 2 before 1, catch the ball, run route, catch the ball, understand what is going on and your value to this team. What you cannot do, CeeDee, is worry about that last drop. Understand how you dropped it, make sure it don't happen again.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you look at CeeDee Lamb and the caliber of player he is at the wide receiver position, I think he did a great job of explaining it. You know, he's already catching the ball to him is kind of like second nature. Like, it's already going to happen. It's just going to tuck it away and go. And he was already thinking about the next move. How I'm going to make this guy miss? How I'm going to make this explosive play happen? When that second nature doesn't happen and you drop the football, it's just kind of a lapse in focus. And I'm not worried about it at all. I feel like CeeDee Lamb, he'll get these drops out of his system and he'll become that productive wide receiver once again. And like they said, you got, 17 tries at this? He'll be all right going forward.
Kyle, I know you love the game of baseball.
I do.
And if this was a baseball player, one of the best hitters in the league, you would just say, oh, he's just in a little bit of slump. And once he gets one hit under his belt, he'll be right back in the flow. That's CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is in a little bit of a slump in terms of dropping the ball. He just explained to you why he's having that issue. As a former receiver, I understand that, right? You're thinking about making the play. Your second nature, obviously, like Barry just explained, to catch the ball. I want to go make the next big play, right? I see my boy George Pickens over there making plays. I want some of that too. All right, I don't want to be left out. So that's what he's thinking about. So he understands now I'm still going to have that opportunity, but I can't put the hay before the horse. I have to be able to go out there, take care of number 1, and then I can pop my eyes and go see what's available to me. Might have to do a little bit of scanning like we do in soccer, okay? Get your eyes up a little early so that when you catch the ball, you know what space you have.
So you're talking about not an individual hitter slump, not like a Seattle Mariners not making it to the World Series.
Ooh.
That's not what it is, right?
So y'all messed up, Ryan.
I do have a legitimate follow-up, though, because you talk about the mentality, and if you're so laser-focused on ending the slump, you're probably not going to end the slump. That's a baseball thing as well. You can't think about it. How does CeeDee perform today in a game where every eye in the football world is going to be on him?
Yeah, I think he shows up. I don't have any hesitations about getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb, and neither is Dak. Dak's going to throw the ball to him just like he's been catching everything up to the point where he got his second contract. He's going to be who he is. He's going to make plays. But I'll throw it to Barry. Yeah. Barry, I'm sure, as a tackler, right, you're so concerned about making the big hit, right, that you forget to do what?
The basics, wrap
up, right?
Exactly.
So it goes wrong for offense and defense. All players can go through little slumps. I'm sure Nate Dahl didn't miss any blocks at all.
Never,
you know what I'm saying?
Never. But maybe 1 or 2 against Philadelphia.
He'll be fine.
Don't say that. Never miss the block. A lot of good things still to come for CeeDee Lamb. And, of course, I think all of us up here do agree that it's just a matter of time until he starts putting up the numbers just like what George Pickens has been doing over the last couple of weeks. Of course, there's a lot of intrigue around this matchup, and we've got a lot of people talking about it as well. Let's hear from our media mashup earlier in the week from some of your favorite Dallas Cowboys podcasts.
Today's trivia question is, how many pounds of turkey does AT&T Stadium serve on Thanksgiving Day?
Bullseye or bust?
Let's go.
I felt that in my diaphragm.
I did.
That.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great one.
Thank you.
Dallas wins the red zone battle. And they're 75% in the red zone.
Actually, I have a little fun note about red zone. They actually, the reason why they lost that game to the Colts on Sunday, the Chiefs, they stalled out in the red zone. They reached the red zone 6 times against the Colts and only scored 1 touchdown. So they settled for 4 field goals. They lost a fumble, had just the 1 score. And then for the month of November, the past 3 games, the Chiefs have reached the red zone 13 times, scored only 4 touchdowns, settled for 7 field goals, and have had 2 turnovers. Yeah. So, for all their weapons and they've really been struggling.
This is a team that feels different right now. They're playing different right now. Mm-hmm. They're motivated. They're talented now on the defensive side for the first time in God knows how long. So it's the combination of the two that I think is hitting at the right point. And I don't think Kansas City was that.
Do it for 94.
Well, that's the motivation is kind of what I was talking about. But the whole thing with Kansas City, they're not playing their best football either. If both teams came from behind to win their games this past week, give me Dallas 30-23 final score. Cowboys get it done, and they do something that no one has ever done in NFL history.
Talk about it.
And that is defeat the 2 previous representatives in the Super Bowl in a short week. The toughest part of the schedule, and they go right through it with a 2-0 record.
Do it now!
3rd straight. Opportunity at hand for Dallas.
Week 1 of the NFL season is finally here, and so is Cowboys pregame live.
Just one thing, 2 things: consistency and ethos.
Let them know, Nate. Let them know,
Sounds good. Well, how about that? This is 100 shows together for us 4. It's been so much fun over the last couple of years, of course, to work with you guys. Going all the way back to 2020, a little clip there from September of 2020. And, of course, this has been an incredible production all the way across 100%. The board. Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Show number 100. What does it feel like? I mean, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man. I'm just blessed for the opportunity to be in here.
It's the type of production.
Clip it. Oh, my God.
Run it back. All right.
Hold on.
You had one job.
Hey, Devin, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Show number 100, and we just had the best shows.
Can we run that in slow motion?
Shoot us.
All right. Hey, that's how you know it's live television.
We're
not pre-recording anything.
And he does not have a cup on. I can tell you that right now.
Not.
Wow.
Congratulations, guys. You guys are brothers.
Indeed.
I appreciate all you guys. Love you all. On Thanksgiving, we give it time to appreciate all those that we love, and we love all these guys. How about that? All right. Let's hear from DeMarvion Overshown and Nicole Hutchinson on his journey back to the NFL.
Hey, this is the last one where I'm marching, man. I'm ready to take action.
Genty spinning catch, 1-on-1, and welcome back, DeMarvion Overshown. Barkley is taken down. Excellent tackle. There's Overshown. He didn't fall for the spin.
Do you feel like Agent Zero is physically, mentally back 100%?
Oh, yeah.
Watson rolling away, looking for something. Nobody's open. He is decked, and the Cowboys take over.
I want to take you back to the beginning. 2023, 3rd round pick, Terry ACL. Then you come back 2024, having a hell of a year. Lead the team in tackles. 3rd Cowboy since 1982 to have at least 5 sacks, forced fumble and interception, fumble recovery in a single season. And then December 2024, you tear your ACL, your MCL, your PCL. What's going through your mind at that moment?
I always told myself, I said, if it was to happen again, like, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad because I know what to do. And I also know, like, if anybody's going to go through this, like, I would rather it be me because I know how to come back from it. I know, like, my energy is going to be where it's at. I know I have all faith in God. You know, I went down. I instantly looked up like, look, God, you got me. I'm just going to do my part. I tell people all the time, and you hear it all the time, but, you know, some of the most successful stories are built, you know, in the darkest times. So I never got, you know, below, you know, not being thankful, not being grateful for where I was.
God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. Did you ever, I know you said you never doubted, but, like, was there ever a time where you were like, dang, God, like, why me, you know?
It's crazy. The week before, I had just caught a pick-6 Thanksgiving game. I had a couple of tackles for loss in a big game. And then we was playing on a Monday night. So I'm like, I'm on the top of the pedestal. Like, I came from a week straight of, man, Overshown he's awesome. He's been balling. But that just goes to show you, like, you know, God's plan. Like, you can be at the top of the top and, you know, be right here just, you know, the following week. But I never got down on the fact that, you know, I got injured again, because injuries are part of the game. It's what we signed up for. It'll never scare me away from playing the way that I play with, and that's with passion and heart. God got his hands on me. Like, he got his hands on me. Nothing is gonna scare me away from that.
You got God on your side. You got your family on your side.
Family on my side. You got the team, got the brothers,
the coaching staff, but somebody in particular, Britt Brown, who had a lot of faith in you to, you know, come back from what you came back from. And in fact, I quote, you asked him, "What I got to do to come back?" He quoted and said, "It's going to be hard, but anyone can do it. It's you." What did hearing that from Britt spark in you?
I done heard him talk about countless of players, the ones that showed up, the ones that are leaders, the one that was great, and the ones that perform at a high level, you know, how they came in. And when he told me, like, you're one of those guys, I had nothing to worry about, because I knew I was going to come to work every day. It was just about, am I going to be okay? He was like, you gonna be fine. When
you reflect on your entire journey, what would old Demo tell young Demo now?
Keep going. It's gonna get better. Matter of fact, one of the early things I heard, it was from Leighton Vander Esch, and he told me my rookie year in fall camp, he was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing. And I already knew, like, my mindset coming to this league was to be the best I can be, take care of my family. I said, if I keep those two, the main things, like, nothing is going to be able to get in my way. And because, like I said, I believe in providing and being that for my family. But, you know, I also believe in making my family proud and making myself proud. And by doing this, it does that.
It's so good seeing DeMarvion Overshown back in the fold, of course, as a part of this Cowboys defense. Through 2 games, he's already made an impact in playing faster at that second level. And I think so far, when you see the way that he's played, it's good to see him back, but at some point you have to start evaluating. Isaiah, based on what you've seen, how would you assess his return to action?
Well, I know this is number 0, and it represents ages 0, but he does not play like a 0. This dude plays like an absolute beast. His energy, his passion is infectious. His execution of what he does in terms of his decision making, his ability to go downhill, going forward across the line of scrimmage, bringing guys down, his ability to cover, right, helps the safeties out, right? So it makes everybody around him better. I love the fact that he has a solid D-line, but he is balling.
Yeah, when you talk about Overshown, this is a guy that's, I believe, getting better and better as the weeks progress, especially coming back from a gruesome injury like he has been able to do. But as you see that first week against Vegas, getting his feet wet out there, making sure he understands the defense, and then as you see that following week against Philadelphia, he really kind of stood out as that guy that was sideline to sideline and being able to make those open field tackles. I mean, he was bringing down Saquon Barkley one-on-one in the open field, who's one of the most dynamic running backs in the National Football League. So I think he's right where he needs to be. That confidence will continue to grow as the season progresses.
He's a 10. His energy. See that, Barry?
Yeah, there you go.
He's a 10. His energy is outstanding. Glad to see him back. And he's been playing good, but I think in about 3 or 4 more games, he'll be playing great. Glad to have you back, Overshown.
Yeah, good to have him back. And I know, of course, the Cowboys front 7 has benefited from his energy and his reading, too. I know we were looking at a film study a couple weeks back, and the way he's got a first-step quickness, it certainly does pay off. But it helps the entire defense. And the secondary right now for Dallas is benefiting from the front 7 playing better. Barry, as our resident defender up here on the set, how would you grade the way that the secondary has changed over the last few weeks? What are some of their strengths and weaknesses?
I would say right now, their strengths, the jury is kind of still out on their strengths right now when you look at them as a whole. I do believe their coverage has gotten better. They're contesting a lot more passes than the latter part of the season than you see at the beginning. But when you talk about what their weakness is, I still believe they need to get better as far as communicating as a whole. All right, when I look at that Philadelphia game, you didn't see as many explosive plays as you've seen in the past, but what what you did see is guys getting free releases, especially early on in that ball game. A.J. Brown was able to get a free release. Devontae Smith was able to get a free release. So I would love to see them communicate a little bit better. And when you're asked to go up there and get press man-to-man coverage against these wide receivers, don't be afraid to get your hands on them. You got the length in that secondary to do so. So go ahead, get your hands on these guys, disrupt that time in between the wide receiver and the quarterback, and you'll have better play out there. But I think they need to get better at putting hands on and then communicating in the secondary.
I'm not going to go against BC right here. Listen up. The thing that they do best is the thing that they haven't been asked to do consistently, and that is get to the line of scrimmage and play man-to-man. If you do so against the Kansas City Chiefs, you will have success. You wonder why the Indianapolis Colts lost a game against KC? Because they started playing zone. When they were playing man-to-man, they caused a bunch of havoc. These receivers are fast, they're smart, but they don't necessarily get off the line of scrimmage. You're going to bless your Thanksgiving food today, aren't you? We'll go up there and bless these guys to the line of scrimmage with some hands on them.
I'll put it simply like this. I can't argue with these two guys. It's a different position for me, but I know I had my best success when I was able to lay hands on them.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and bless them.
I like it. Go up to the line of scrimmage, be physical, lay hands on it. That's what we're all about here on this Thanksgiving holiday. The Cowboys getting off to an early Thanksgiving start prior to their matchup today with the Kansas City Chiefs, serving early Thanksgiving to different communities throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Thanksgiving came early in North Texas as the Dallas Cowboys, their wives, and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders stepped away from the field and into the community.
You know, we've been coming out to the Salvation Army for an early Thanksgiving for over 20 years now, and it's such a wonderful time for us to celebrate them, to celebrate the great work the Army does, but to celebrate these people in here that are just looking for a little cheer.
So enriched every single day in our lives, and just to be able to give back to these incredible people and just spend some time is truly what's important in life.
From Fort Worth to Frisco to Dallas, the organization spent time serving meals, fresh beverages, and offering a little encouragement to families who need it most.
Just being able to come out here and to serve others. Thankful for this opportunity. It's a season of giving, obviously, and just trying to spread hope.
I know it feels good for me personally, for my teammates here in the organization. So it just feels good to get back and spend time with the community.
Every year, the Salvation Army steps in to feed thousands across North Texas.
Giving back in general is very important, especially us as athletes being blessed to be able to pay it forward. You know what I mean? And just knowing that we're blessed to be here to be able to do this.
And that's why it's so easy for the Cowboys to come back annually. This organization is built on tradition that stems far beyond trophies and Thanksgiving Day games.
So I feel a lot of joy and a lot of honor being able to come out here and do it for other people.
A day full of serving, listening, being present, just fellowship, a plate of food, and a reminder that community still matters.
It is wonderful. I saw them last year, and every time I see them, it just uplifts me more and more and more every time.
Just to be a light in somebody's darkness, or just to be a blessing at all in somebody's life, it's what we do.
In Dallas, I'm Nicole Hutchison.
Get a hug. Look, hugs go around. Hugs go around. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
One of the best traditions in all of the calendar year for the Cowboys. Another tradition will happen at halftime. How about the Red Kettle Kickoff benefiting the Salvation Army? And it is Dallas Cowboys superfan Post Malone, who has been a Cowboys fan for quite some time. Of course, his father worked at AT&T Stadium and Texas Stadium back in the day. There were even stories of him sleeping at Texas Stadium as a kid, so that way his father could work and he could spend some time in the stadium and with his loved ones. And now he has an opportunity to headline the Cowboys' Red Kettle Kickoff at halftime. Don't miss it on CBS at the halftime performance between the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Cowboys had some fun earlier this week answering this question: which movie character would you invite to Thanksgiving dinner?
You can invite a movie character to Thanksgiving dinner.
The hot dog bun off what's that movie? Hot dog bun off Soccer Party.
No.
I say Peter Griffin, because it'll be funny.
Check it. Only a movie character. It's not like the actor.
Smokey.
Oh, okay.
Patrick Starr.
I'm going to go Remy from Ratatouille, please. Thank you.
I was thinking that. I feel like Ratatouille go crazy.
No.
You let him do his thing.
Will Smith.
Miss Incredible? Wow. And why did I know the answer? No!
I'm going to invite Miss Incredible for no particular reason.
I think I'm going to invite Nina from Love Jones.
I say Low Dog, the movie here. She's funny. Probably Moana or Maui. My kids would go crazy.
If it's an animated movie, Randy Marsh. I'm going to do both brothers from Step Brothers. Dale. Yeah. Kevin Hart.
After giving it some thought, damn, I forgot the answer. I forgot my answer.
Okay, so now I want to ask you guys the same question. Which movie character would you invite to Thanksgiving dinner, Isaiah?
I would invite Franklin Hatchett, who was Chris Tucker in Money Talks.
Oh,
yes.
Two on the floor. I got you.
That's a good one.
I like that.
What are you thinking, Nate?
I don't know the guy's name, but Ed Norton. He played the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
You want to blow up your house like that?
Yeah, man, I want to smash. I want to eat and smash. Yeah.
Kick him out.
Yeah, thank you, Ed Norton. I'm sorry.
Here we go. All right, for me, I'm going to go with Bobby Boucher.
Ooh.
From The Water Boy.
Yeah.
When I first saw that movie, and he had that like elixir of water, whatever it was from the glacier, I was like, man, that looks like some good water. So I'd invite Bobby Boucher.
Is his mom invited, though?
That's a good question.
Good question?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Foosball. You know, she went no
Barry's
foosball.
was the devil.
I'm going to go with.
Who you going?
I liked the way that I forgot who it was that was saying it there. Moana was saying because his kids would go crazy. I'll say the same thing, but Lightning McQueen. Because my kids love cars. They say lightning, and they point at the screen. So I'm going to say Lightning McQueen can show up at the table.
There
Get
we
a
go.
race car in here too. That'd be pretty sweet.
That lets you know that Kyle's house is huge.
Chill out. All right, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. We've got a lot of things going on in the NFC, but let's take a peek over to what the Kansas City Chiefs playoff hopes look like. Of course, they're on the outside looking in at the moment. Remember, this is a team that has been the 7 consecutive AFC championship games, yet they're in danger of not even making the playoffs right now at that 6-5 record. Isaiah, what have the Chiefs been struggling with throughout the season? Because it can't just be one thing. This is still a very talented team across the board.
Yeah, I think it's just consistency. I think some of their key playmakers are getting older, and they're having to try to find ways to create new productivity. I think offensively right now, obviously Travis Kelce has been a main guy for them. That's kind of going away, and they don't have a consistent running game, which has always been an issue. So now the offense has really fell on the shoulders of Patrick Mahomes and these new receivers. Defensively, Chris Jones has been dominant of years past. George Karlaftis has been dominant in years past. Both of those guys are seemingly slowing down or picking and choosing depending on who you're talking about. So they don't have a lot of consistent play across the board, and these coaches are having to work overtime.
Yeah, when I look at the Chiefs, the biggest difference to me I see is them being able to win or finish games. I mean, last year I believe in one-score games they were 11-0, so they took off in those one-score games. This year I believe they're 1-5 when it comes to those one-score games, as they got their first one against the Colts last week. So for me, it's finding out how to win games or finish games, and that you really don't see from an Andy Reid team.
When you're youthful, like Isaiah said, you can win these games. You come back, you play the close games, you got the better athletes. Understand this, for the last 6 years, they have been playing a minimum of 3 games a year added on. Now you're in their 6th, 7th year. That's a season.
Yeah.
These players are older. They're trying to find ways. Coaches are going crazy trying to get schemes to go because your stud players are picking and choosing when they're trying to light up the scoreboard. That's defensively and offensively. But they will be ready today. They are going to make a run.
Yeah. And that's the thing is this is the type of game where you know everybody's watching, Thanksgiving holiday. And a lot of these guys have not played on Thanksgiving throughout. This is Travis Kelce's first Thanksgiving game. Patrick Mahomes playing in his first game at AT&T Stadium as the starter. He was the backup in his rookie season the last time the Kansas City Chiefs came to town. And, of course, he grew up a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what Mahomes said earlier this week on that.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I mean, obviously, I was a freshman in college, and it was kind of my shot to prove that I could be the starting quarterback the next year. And got down early. Not a lot of stuff wasn't going our way, and we were playing a really good football team. But we were able to rally back and came up a 2-point conversion short. And so I think the biggest lesson I learned was I took a sack on the 2-point play, and I was and they Coach Kingsbury came to me after the game, was like, it's 2-point play. You got to just throw it up or do something. So just learning stuff like that. But it was also obviously an awesome experience for me growing up in the East Texas area. Yeah, I went a good amount. I once to the old stadium when I was really young, and then the new stadium once it was built. My dad used to get he could get us into the bottom area where the Cowboys come out. So we'd get the nosebleed seats, and then just go down there the whole game. I don't know if that's allowed, but it was really cool, just making memories with my dad, my brother, and stuff like that. And so got to go to probably 3 to 4 games growing up. You grow up watching Thanksgiving games, no matter who you're a fan of. If it's the Lions, the Cowboys, or whoever's playing at night, you grow up watching those games. And so I think as that kid in me wants to be able to go out there and play on Thanksgiving and find a way to win. And obviously short week, we're grinding in here right now and getting the whole game plan in and making sure everybody's prepared and ready to go. But I think we're excited to get to go out there and play on Thanksgiving against a really good football team and the whole world watching.
And Mahomes probably going through a couple of those emotions as he gets ready to play the Cowboys, warming up in those all-white classic Kansas City Chief uniforms. Cowboys wearing their throwback uniforms again today. Isaiah, how are teams taking a shot at Mahomes this year? Still one of the top leaders in passing throughout the 25 season, but what is the difference that defenses are showing for them?
I think they're playing man-to-man. I think they figured out that these receivers that he has aren't necessarily the best route runners. They're fast, and they're huge playmakers. They make contested catches, and they can run past you. But these guys don't do a great job of getting at the line of scrimmage. So when offense that has been predicated on timing and really creativity, they're disrupting that. They're coming to the line of scrimmage. They're disrupting those releases. They're messing with the time that Patrick Mahomes has to get rid of the ball, and teams are getting home. They're getting back to him. His offensive line has not been great. He's getting hit, so he's getting flustered. He's starting to have a little bit of a happy feet in the backfield and having to try to find ways to create.
And that run game is just not smashing like it used to be. And now when you can make a team one-dimensional, no matter how great your quarterback is, like Isaiah saying, then you come and play the man-to-man and make these wide receivers force an opening, and it's not happening. But I promise you, Rashee Rice is coming. Yes, he's getting better every week.
Yeah, what the defenses are doing, they're taking away that explosive play. All right, so you're not getting those explosive plays from the Kansas City Chiefs, so they're relying on, the Kelce's, the Rashee Rice's, the running backs out of the backfield to win against these defenses out there. And Isaiah's 100% correct on this. They're playing a lot of man-to-man versus the Chiefs. And the receivers for the Chiefs, whether it's, an A.G., Kelce, Rashee Rice, whatever the case may be, they haven't been consistently able to go out there and win the one-on-one battles like we've seen from this Kansas City Chiefs team in the past. So hopefully for the Dallas Cowboys, they lock up on the outside and make things hard for Mahomes this afternoon.
Okay, so with that being said, let's take Mahomes out of the equation. Okay. Who is a player for you to watch in this Cowboys-Chiefs matchup?
I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt on this one. Not only is he my Toledo brethren, shout out to Toledo out there, but this is a guy that last week ran extremely hard against the Indianapolis Colts, and he was one of the main reasons they were able to go out there with a victory. He's able to basically move the chains. He's their short yardage running back. He gets in there 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s. He's able to convert those, kind of wear down that defense as the game goes on, and you saw that last week, especially against the Colts. So to me, you got to understand where he is at all times, because he's a between the tackle runner, but he will also leak out into the backfield and become a capable receiver out there for Mahomes as well.
Chris Jones is my guy, the defensive tackle number 95. He's about 6'7", about 320 pounds. This dude is a beast. He hasn't been making the splash plays that we're accustomed to seeing, but I've noticed in the last 2 weeks that he's been playing well. A loss against Denver, a win against the Colts. He's been making his impact felt. And if he can just turn it up to back to his old self, it could be a hard day for our offensive line.
I'm rocking with Travis Kelce. And the reason why Travis Kelce, to me, is going to be the most dangerous man on this field offensively for the Chiefs is because Dallas primarily runs zone defense. And with them running zone defense primarily, his route tree is not what is on paper. His route tree on paper is a suggestion. If they tell him to go run 5 yards and cut out, he's going to go run 5 yards and find a window. If they tell him to run 12 yards, he's going to run 10 yards and find a window. Him and Patrick Mahomes are on the same wavelength. These guys are one. So he's going to find the open spot in these zones if Eberflus chooses to do so, and that's why he is the most dangerous guy to me.
And that's the thing, too, that people forget about Travis Kelce. He still leads the team in receptions, receiving yards and touchdowns this year. He's still a very formidable wide receiving target and tight end, of course. He's third in all-time receiving yards as a tight end, and he's quickly catching the Cowboys legend Jason Witten for number 2 on that list. Cowboys have a guy who's starting to grow on that list as well. Jake Ferguson even taking some time at tight end U throughout the offseason. That is, of course, a program that was started by Travis Kelce and George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. Jake Ferguson benefiting from that tight end U and that connection with one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. I'm going to start with you here, Nate, because I know you love talking about your guy, Jake Ferguson. But where is he most effective in this matchup with the defense they'll see against the Chiefs?
I think he can hurt them in the flats. I think he can get into the middle of their defense. But the thing, why Jake Ferguson is who he is, he's the seventh guy on the end of the line, whether it's the left tackle or the right tackle. He's always getting out into his routes late, and that hurts him in yards per catch, but it helps the team. He's a total team player. He's a tough guy, and boy, he in the end zone, in the red zone, Isaiah, he is a beast. Last week, he averaged 12 yards per catch. Yes, thank you, Isaiah.
11 of those were yards after catch.
Yeah, they were. Exactly.
Wow.
When it comes to this matchup, though, for me, where Jake Ferguson, has to excel is he's going to have to win these one-on-one matchups, because we know from a Spagnuolo coach defense, he loves to send the kitchen sink at you. He loves to blitz you. So you're going to have those one-on-one opportunities, whether it's Nick Bolton at the linebacker spot, Tranquil at the linebacker spot, or Cook at the safety spot. You're going to have to find a way to win on one-on-one matchups and win them fast, because, like I said, Spagnuolo, he's going to send the kitchen sink, and Dak might not have that much time for those deep routes to develop.
I think it's going to be very similar to his role last week. I called him chip in flat, right? He stayed in. To Nate's point, he was an extension of the offensive line. That sixth man, he was chipping the defensive end or the man that was blitzing, getting a little bump, and then going out to a little flat route towards the sideline to be an outlet for Dak. I think it's going to be more of the same because of what Barry just referred to, and Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. He likes to bring pressure. Third down, pressure is coming. Where's Jake Ferguson going to be? Attached to the tackle. Going to give a little chip, get out in the flat. He has to be an outlet and do what he did last week in terms of the yards after catch. He was unraveled after he caught the ball last week. He did not want to go down. You need more of that because this Kansas City Chiefs defense does not tackle well.
No, that's the biggest thing, too, is he can possibly break a couple of tackles, and that's where you're going to have a lot of success on the second level of that Cowboys offense. Hopefully they can get Ferguson going in this one. Let's check in back at AT&T Stadium down on the sideline. Nick Eatman catches up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones.
Thanks so much, Kyle. And we're joined by Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And first, let's just start there. I know how much you love this game. Football, family, you get to do both.
Well, this is everything all rolled up into one. And happy Thanksgiving to all our fans out there. Just can't thank you enough, especially the ones here at the game. Going to spend Thanksgiving here with us today. But, I was just talking to our CBS executives, and, they think we could set a big number here today, maybe a record. Of course, playing these guys who've been on an unbelievable roll, winning world championships, and it's going to be a fun game. We look forward to it. The challenge.
This is the first time Patrick Mahomes has played a professional game here. As we welcome our specialist to the show. Hey, it is what it is. They got work to do. You're probably okay with that. You haven't seen a lot of Patrick Mahomes here.
Well, I don't mind not seeing much of him because, obviously he's on track maybe to rival Brady and be the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And he's nothing but a winner. And we got nothing but respect for the Chiefs between the Hunt family and everything they stand for. Obviously, we thought the world of Lamar. But this run they've made, winning football games. They're a great football team. At the same time, we welcome the challenge.
How about the fact that you guys 4 days ago, what a great comeback that was. Do you believe in riding that wave and here just into this Thanksgiving Day game?
I was talking to Coach Schottenheimer. Hopefully we don't spot him 21 to get going. But, no, we believe in the momentum. I think our guys are really, done an amazing job. They obviously had some extreme challenges, before we started this run. And certainly Marshawn's in our hearts and prayers. And they want to continue to honor him and go out and play their very best. And I certainly believe in Mo, and hopefully we'll keep it up today.
You can say both to this question, but you have a new left tackle now with Tyler Guyton now, and also Kalen Carson's out at corner. Which position are you a little bit more concerned about?
Well, those are two key spots when you're talking about left tackle and corner. Yeah. So I will say both. Okay. But certainly Rebel's coming, and he'll get more play time today. Triqueeze, he'll be in there as well. But, we just got to get in there and play as a unit, play as a team, and hopefully good things will happen.
Hopefully they're in, you guys are winning at halftime, so you can really enjoy the Post Malone concert.
Well, I don't know about that. This game, as we found out last week, it's 4 quarters, and you don't ever take anything for granted.
Thank you so much for being here. That's Stephen Jones. Throw it back to Kyle in the booth.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nick. As we take a look outside of AT&T Stadium, we'll also take a look at the Chiefs' inactive list. A couple of rookies on that list, like Jalen Royals, and Smith at the guard spot is probably the biggest one. You talk about a guy who stands out at the guard spot. He was a Pro Bowler, and with him not in the fold, Isaiah, I know you have had an eye on that throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's their most dominant offensive lineman, so him not being present is going to be huge, especially for our 2 big fellas in the middle.
Let's talk about the Cowboys' inactive list on their end. You heard about it a little bit there with Stephen Jones, a couple guys on this list, a little bit different than what we would have anticipated, like Kalen Carson, who was banged up throughout the week and out today due to injury. He had dealt with a couple of things over the last few weeks, and just enough to keep him out. Jaden Blue back on the inactive list. Tyler Guyton was something we anticipated. Last week on the inactive list was Jalen Tolbert. Now it's Jonathan Mingo on the inactive list. Does that tell you anything?
It tells me that these guys are competing for the same spot, but I don't necessarily like that change up this week because I feel as if the running game is going to be tough, and I think that you can take advantage of Kansas City's defense in the screen game. Mingo's a much better blocker out on the edges than Jalen Tolbert is. Tolbert's not necessarily the most willing to do so.
And that's something that I think you'll have to see him take a step up in, especially in this matchup, because there's a lot of pressure from the edge that you're going to see in this game with Kansas City. Now, let's talk about the offensive line a little bit here. We just talked about Tyler Guyton being out. I'll ask about him in a moment, but how would you grade the play of the offensive line this season, Nate, based off of what you've seen over the first 11 games?
I'll give him a C+, maybe a B. But the reason I'm giving him that is because of Dak pocket present. He has been outstanding in moving around and manipulating the pocket. I want to say that the running backs have been a great help, and also Jake Ferguson. We talk about him a lot, and his lack of yardage per catch, but that is why he's been a great factor in trying to help this offensive line. So I give him a C+ or B. But I'm telling you, if our left tackle can ever develop and be able to block one-on-one, that grade will go up higher.
Yeah, I can't disagree with the great Nate Newton when you talk about the offensive line. I give him a B as well, especially with the kind of musical chairs they've been playing along that offensive line with all the injuries they've had to deal with. So I'm with Nate Newton on this one. I'm going to give him a B, and hopefully that grade can get a little bit better as the weeks progress, because you're going to need to protect Dak Prescott if you want this offense to produce the way it has so far this season.
I got to ask you, Nate, all right, I see you gave a weighted average of a C+ or a B. Right. Where do they fall in the running game grade and in the passing game?
The running grade, I think, is a B.
Okay.
They're passing. It's a C. It's a C because I'm telling you, when you have to always keep your tight end in, or you have to always keep a back end and not be able to go to a true 11 personnel and spread this thing out, and Dak is moving around. Yeah. People don't understand that we talked about his development earlier. This guy has been a magician in that pocket. He's been getting that ball out. He's been throwing ahead of time with great anticipation. And I want to be that guy to say, hey, we're B+, but we're not there yet. We're not cohesive, and we're not playing as a great unit yet.
And going on the heels of that, what Nate is really referring to is Jake Ferguson. I always give him a mess because I call him Mr. 5 yards. I mean, that's because he's been forced to be that this year in the blocking game, right? He's had to help out of that chip and get out to the flat. Jake Ferguson likes to get up the seams. He can't do that right now because he's helping the offensive line do their job.
So now with Tyler Guyton out of the fold, how does that change your outlook on what this offensive line looks like going into this matchup, Nate, if it changes it at all?
It just bothers me because now when you have injury or you have guys going in and out of the lineup, you build no consistency. And when you have no consistency, you can't be a one unit. You can't get used to playing with the guy next to you. So when games and stunts and blitzes come, you automatically know what to do. Now you got Nate Thomas over there. I talked to Will during training camp. Will McClay, our pro personnel guy. He says that he wanted to put him there at left tackle, that he's comfortable there. We'll see today, because I'm telling you, Coach Spagnuolo going to test it with these zone blitzes, with the ability to bring one extra man, so you're going to have to always know what to do. So him and Tyler Smith going to have to be talking and understanding what's going on over there, because if you don't, that's going to make Dak have to work even harder. That's going to have to put Ferguson out even later. Now he may drop down to 4-point yards a catch.
And that's the thing, too, is you're going to have to kind of play the maneuvering game. And if there's one other injury up front, which luckily for the Cowboys, they haven't had a ton of those other than Cooper Beebe missing a little bit of time. Thank you for
Got you. I found some wood for you.
Yeah. The movement up front and the revolving door is never going to help anybody. We have seen Nate Thomas play at a high level, and there's a lot of things that he has done well in a Cowboys uniform. Let's flip the attention to the defensive side here. Of course, Quinnen Williams in his 2 games with the Dallas Cowboys has just been fantastic. This is the PFF, Pro Football Focus grade, compared to the other defensive linemen in the National Football League, not on the Dallas Cowboys.
All of them.
In the National Football League, all of them. First in grade overall, first in pressures, first in pass rush win rate. Isaiah, lots to be excited about when it comes to Quinnen Williams. But, I mean, when you look at the way that he's played so far, it opens up everybody on the defensive side. It opens up the entire defense. And this is somebody that you've wanted to see for quite some time.
Hello, brother. He was going to say, all right, listen, Quinnen Williams, he's been everything that you wanted from that acquisition. He's one of the more dominant interior defensive linemen in the game. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. He's wanting these one-on-one matchups. He's getting these one-on-one matchups because of his bash bro, Kenny Clark, right? So you either have to double Quinnen Williams or you have to double Kenny Clark. But one of those guys is getting double. So that means that at some point in time, you have to go one-on-one. So he's taking care of business up there. And because there's so much attention being placed on those interior offensive linemen, defensive ends now get better because they have their one-on-one matchups. Second-level defenders and safeties like Barry, when they walk in the box, they don't have to worry about playing peekaboo around offensive linemen. They can see ball, hit ball. So, yes, you're absolutely correct, Kyle. Everybody gets better, even the guys on the outside that are playing against these receivers.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of guys that are going to end up getting better as time goes on. Nate, give me one player to watch on this defensive side of the football that you're excited about.
Donovan Izuraku, the rookie, number 47. 6 weeks ago, he was making his moves where he was 2 yards away from the offensive player. Now he makes his moves at the right time. And with Quinnen Williams being here, he is growing by leaps and bounds. This kid can cover. This kid can rush. This kid can stop the run. This was a great pick. We didn't see it 6 weeks ago, but with the addition of Quinnen Williams, he is blossoming.
Kyle, I don't know if I can say this number.
Oh, yeah?
But I can show you better than I can say it.
What's that?
This dude right here, DeMarvion Overshown. DeMarvion Overshown is my guy. He is an absolute beast. He's the energy bus on this defense. He is the see-ball, hit-ball, sure tackler, guard everybody that comes to this area player. You love to see him. Barry, I know you would have loved to play with him.
Oh, I would have loved to play with a guy like Overshown. The way he brings that juice to the defensive side of the football, it's unbelievable. But for me, when you go up on the defensive side of the football, I'm looking at DaRon Bland right now. And to me, I'm looking at DaRon Bland, especially if they line him up in the slot to match up with Rashee Rice. I mean, that's one of Patrick Mahomes' basically go-to guys in that slot situation. So he's going to have to either play outside and inside when covering Rashee Rice. But I need him to go up there and be able to put hands on receivers. He's one of those guys that I was pointing out early on that was giving the free releases to A.J. Brown. I was giving the free releases to Devontae Smith out there last week. So I need Bland to go up there, put hands on these wide receivers, and throw off that timing, and to give guys like Overshown and guys like Quinnen Williams an extra tick, an extra second to get after Patrick Mahomes in the passing game.
Bless him, huh?
Bless.
Isaiah's so excited about DeMarvion Overshown that he ran over to get the 0 whenever we were talking about our players to watch, just because he wants to see Agent Zero have another memorable Thanksgiving matchup with this Cowboys team. All right, let's hear the answer of today's trivia question from Hakeem Adeniji and hear from some of your favorite Cowboys podcasts earlier in the week.
I'm going to tell you one time during the game, and it was about the guy did about mistake. I think it was a knee. And I always, for some reason, so dumb, Now, in baseball, they wear a cup, and they put a plastic cup to help you. But in football, we just put on the strap and no cup.
Yep. I just assumed you guys did.
Yeah, and I thought that, okay, from baseball with the plastic cup, I'm protected. I got hit there. And the first thing I thought is I got on a cup, and I realized I didn't have on a cup. It was just a strap.
And then it settled.
I was rolling around. Here come Jim Meyer and all the guys. They're like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, and I'm pointing, because I couldn't really talk. And they like, "Is it a groin? No, it ain't a groin. Is it this? No, I got hit in." And, you don't want nobody to touch it because you're like,
yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
Man, it took me a minute to gather myself, man. So I know how this kid must have felt, man. And back in the day when that happened, when a guy took a shot at you, or whether it's accident or whether it was meant to be, you chalked it up in the game. You chalk, hey, this is part of the game. Right. But these kids today, you spit on them, you do this or do that or whatever. They are taking this thing. You're seeing more kids take off after each other after games now than I've ever seen it, man. I've never seen
Take
it
it to
like
the
that.
streets.
Yeah, they taking it to the street. Yeah, you right, man.
Hang on to it after that, too.
Today's trivia question is, how many pounds of turkey does AT&T Stadium serve on Thanksgiving Day? The answer to today's trivia question is 13,000 pounds.
Gee, how about that? Look at Big Nate Newton on the left there. Nate is a Thanksgiving legend in his own right. Speaking of, take a look at that photo. You got Nate. There's Jay Jeezy. You got Jason Garrett. You got Ezekiel Elliott, of course, what he did jumping in. And then this is the coin that they're actually going to use today in the coin toss that's coming up momentarily on CBS as we wrap up here on Cowboys Pregame Live. Back with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Here are the next 5 games for the Dallas Cowboys. It starts today with Kansas City. Then you have that Detroit team that's in a battle right now with the Green Bay Packers, followed by Minnesota, who's kind of seen their playoff hopes dashed over the last few weeks. Chargers, and then the Commanders, then, of course, the final game of the year against the New York Giants. So there's still a lot at hand for the Cowboys. You probably have to run the table, if not maybe lose one.
That's it.
And that's really all you got to do. So let's talk about this one today. What do the Cowboys need to do today, and what type of game do they need to play?
Yeah, Dallas needs to get 2 turnovers. They need to find a way to get 2 turnovers against Kansas City, and then they need to convert, and they need to score on 60% of their drives. If they're able to do that, then everybody will be in the money.
Yeah, to me, it's all about the trenches in this ball game. Defensively, they got to be able to win the battle against Kansas City's offensive line and get after Patrick Mahomes. And offensively for the Cowboys, they got to be able to protect against Chris Jones and all those blitzes that Spagnuolo's going to bring to them. So this is going to be a trench warfare type of game for me.
Offensively, I would like to see him move Dak a little bit more, the bootlegs and the waggles, stuff like that. Just move, because I don't want Steve Spagnuolo to be able to lock in on him.
Yeah.
And defensively, baby, just continue with that momentum you started last week. Just continue with that.
It would be big to defeat, and be the first team ever to defeat the 2 reigning Super Bowl representatives in back-to-back games in a short week. The Cowboys looking to create a little bit of history. Bold prediction time, gentlemen. What's your bold prediction in this one, Isaiah?
My bold prediction is that the Dallas Cowboys will convert 70% of their third downs today.
70%? That's a lot.
It is a lot. Dak's great against the blitz. You know what Dak Spagnuolo is going to do? Blitz.
For me, I'm looking at special teams. You're going to have a big-time play from your special teams. So for me, I got Kevontae Turpin taking back one of those kickoffs. Hopefully it's the opening kickoff all the way to the house to provide some points for the Cowboys.
Turpy, speed.
Yes, I'm going to go along with you, Isaiah, but I need 35 minutes of possession of time with 3 scores.
Keep away.
There we go.
I like it. Okay. I'm going to say a defensive touchdown from Agent Zero.
Hey, look.
I think it's another one. He had one last year.
Listen, that's bold, butt naked bold right there.
Butt naked. He had it last year. I think it would just come full circle to get it done this year. Thanksgiving.
Bruce Almighty.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This is all about making memories, and we have already made one memory today on Cowboys Pregame. Devin,
and his name is Devin.
Ever as a part of the Cowboys Pregame Live crew. Thanks for joining us. 3:30 kickoff. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kablooey!